other questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, we are going to move to public comment. Board of Education allows and encourages members of the public and visitors to address the board during public comment. Speakers will be invited to address the board in the order in which public comment request cards were submitted. We're going to ask, please, that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Remember, these are comments. We will take the information, we will write it down. I believe this is also being recorded. The answers to these questions will then be posted on our website. We encourage you to come to the parent meetings, the meetings that are going to be announced in the upcoming weeks. And again, we encourage you to come to the forum on February 13th from 7 until 8:30 at the Cultural Center. Or is it here? It is here. Okay, it's going to be here.
Parents who don't have access to the website, how will those parents get the answers that they're asking for?
How will you know that every question will be answered?
You haven't notified us as of yet. It's 2 weeks before it's happening.
I found out
and
today.
you guys are telling us
This came out at 5:30 today.
Okay, the first public comment is Joe Schumann. Joe? Okay, you want to step up to the microphone? We're going to ask you to state your name, your address. Let us know if you live in the district or if you staff and you have students in the district.
Why does it make a difference if you're staff or not?
Hi, my name is Joe Schumann. I live at 35830 on Fairfield Road, Round Lake. I have a student that currently goes to Indian Hill. Some concerns, generally everybody's speaking, we got information, and one of the board members said they knew 18 months ago they were going to do something with the grade school system. Couple ideas, I guess, instead of being not positive. What about extending days in the school or going to a year school system? I know some parents probably wouldn't like that, but if we're in such dire area that we don't have reading and math at a certain level, then maybe we need to put some more emphasis per day on those subjects and extend the day out a little longer or go to a full year on the system. So I had some problems with going to a grade system, but after it was explained, it seems a little bit better. I understand a little better that may work. But logistically, I don't know how you're going to do that money-wise, trying to go all around the district, pull all the second and third graders to go to each school, if that's what it's going to be, and have all the students go over there or go to work situation. Communication, again, that's one of the topics you guys talked about before. It doesn't seem like we have any communication. And to dump everything in our lap within a 2-week period to find out what we want to do. Not last year, this wasn't brought up. I was at a meeting a year before that, this wasn't brought up. Being brought up now, seems like under the table, nobody knows what's going on, and it seems like we have to make some kind of decision what we want to do. I don't understand that. That's about it. I mean, maybe extended days and going to a year may help on it.
Just to clarify the comment about 18 months, Mr. Sherman, it was about the alignment of curriculum across the building, something we've been discussing for a while. We just want to make sure that was clear.
Faith gives a heat.
Hello, my name is Faith Gadzicki. I'm a junior at Round Lake High School. I wanted to show you guys some pictures. These are from the lunchroom. This is some moldy bread that we're being fed by Chartwell. There were 2 pieces given given at lunch. And one of my friends ate most of her piece of bread, and then she realized there was mold. She could have gotten sick. It's not safe. I think we need a new lunch program. I don't think Chartwell's is okay. I really don't. The food they're providing is not healthy. America is overweight, and we do not need burgers and pizza puffs and French fries. We don't need that every day for lunch. We don't need everything saturated in grease. We need more salad. Salad and sandwich is about the only two healthy things that you have. And anybody who wants to be healthy doesn't want to alter between two foods every day. We need more variety, and we need a better lunch supplier that isn't going to do that to us. Furthermore, I want to say that I disagree with the health clinic that is going to be put in place. I went to McGee Middle School as a 7th and 8th grader, and I was part of a group called the Cougar Cabinet that would talk to the principal. And they said to us, well, what if we put a health clinic into place to help kids who cannot afford physicals so they can get them for sports teams? And we were nice little middle schoolers, and we thought, that's a great idea. What a good idea. And now I get to high school, and now I find out that kids are going to be given contraceptives and other things like this. That is not so that they can play a sport. That is so that they can go out on a weekend and be irresponsible, and that we will support them. It is time for the board to stand up and to be the adults and to set the example and to say that is not okay with us. We will not support that. Also, this is kind of out of order, but back to the Chartwell's lunch. I noticed on the internet, that we failed our health inspections with the Chartwells. Meat is supposed to be stored at 51 degrees or cooler, and it was at 60 or 52. Whoa, 11 points off already. But I wanted to say that in the article, it said and they were talking about Dr. Collins, said the school meals are often the best food the teenagers receive on a given day. Okay, I was like, no. So I decided to ask around. I interviewed a total of 101 people. This I passed around to my friends. I just handed random sheets to lunch tables and said, hey guys, can you fill this out? And I would like to say that 91.01% disagreed with the statement, while only 8.91 agreed. And I also asked people to categorize themselves into people that pay full price for lunch and people that get it free or reduced. And I would like to say that 47.52% disagreed with that statement and 2.97 agreed. And then for the people that paid full price, 5.94% agreed with the statement and 43.56% disagreed. So there are a lot of people disagreeing. Chartwell's is not giving us good food. This molded bread, this is disgusting. This is really not acceptable.
Not the best meal of the day.
You can have my 3 minutes.
She can have my 3 minutes. Oh, you can have this. Oh, yes, please. Please take them.
And I appreciate it.
I will give them my side of the building.
That's a wonderful act to follow. First and foremost, I want to thank the EEC chain of command for doing a good job. I have a kindergartner and a first grader, and both have met their expectations. And pretty much if you go to these grade level centers, I am very concerned about me as a parent having choices within that. If my kids are all going to be in a single first grade, will they have choices among the teachers in that and where their program's at, or will they be stuck in one single program? Beyond that, when the kids advance from grade to grade, I want them to make sure that the teachers from the previous grade are having conversations with the next teacher. That way there is no blank slate or anything like that, that these kids are the teachers are learning the ins and outs of these kids and not having to feel them out every year. And beyond that, I'm wondering the transportation system for that. Having a kid in EDC and a kid in Indian Hill right now, it takes probably upwards 2 hours of my day, and neighbors and Park District with 2 working parents to get my kids on and off the bus on every single day. Doing that for every year, I'll make ends meet, but how is that going to affect single parents, parents that have difficulties with their jobs and stuff like that? Is that going to affect your attendance rates and getting your numbers? If these parents are waiting an hour, 2 hours getting kids on multiple buses to multiple schools every single day, that is going to affect it. Beyond that, it's just my kids. You guys are putting a plan in place. You guys, between this 10-person board, there's seven figures in salary here. I expect accountability from all of you. And I'm a product of a magnet school, and I really enjoyed that experience. That was a good experience, and I really hope that you guys are doing the best you can and making this work for my kids. Thank you.
I'd just like to clarify, school board members don't get any salary. Just clarify. We don't make any. This is volunteer. School board members volunteer. Next, Brian Logston, I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly, and Daniela.
Hello, I'm Brian Logston. I have a son in Indian Hill School. Around the Park District. So, don't tell how that's about relevant though.
Write it down in your public comment. You don't need to know.
Yeah, like I said, it's on the public comment right there. So, I just wanted to make sure that. Anyway, my son is an accelerated student. He's reading well above the grade level that he's in right now. He actually skipped first grade and is in second grade right now. And I want to make sure that there's something in place to keep him motivated, because right now he comes home with a sheet of paper for homework and he's done in like 2 minutes. So I just wanted to see, I did see something about structured interventions and enrichment opportunities, so I just wanted to maybe get a little more broader perspective on what exactly that entails, and see if there's any way to just, again, keep my son motivated. My daughter's going to be going to EEC next year, and she'll probably be basically on the same path. So I kind of want to just make sure that they stay motivated and that they're not basically, sitting around twiddling their thumbs, if other kids happen to be a little more behind than them and they're not, that he's not just basically waiting to be attended to. So I didn't know if there was maybe a little more elaboration, or if there's something on like the website that might say something about that. Okay.
Next, Lisa Steffen.
Hello. Most of you have seen me before. My name is Lisa Steffen. My address is 418 Haywood Drive. close to Limerick, close to Hart Hill, as I always say to the kids. And I have two little ones. Oscar's 5, Olivia's 3. Oscar was in the pre-K program over at Village, and Olivia just started this past week at the Village pre-K program as well. And I also happen to teach Spanish at the high school, and I'm the world languages lead teacher. So I wear 2 pretty important hats, I think, in the district. I have 2 things. First, I wanted to start with just some positive, some suggestions. I noticed on the agenda today, and I also just have been a part of some conversations, that there's this talk of referendum, high school expansion. So I want to throw some ideas out that you guys can just kind of jot down. I know that the community thinks tax dollars going up, and I know there's information out there, sort of. I've been hearing about that. I think that needs to be extremely clear to the community. But what is even more important is that when I was at the facilities forum last year, the high school was at 145% capacity. I live in this building every day. I teach in a mobile classroom out back that is sinking, that was full of mold at the start of the year, that we did a great job getting ready and cleaned up and whatnot. But we need a new building, like expansion, whatever you guys decide is best. I have faith in that, but we need it. We cannot wait. We can't wait another year. We have to have it. There has to be a way to find to get it. And my suggestion is bring people in. When we have basketball games, when we have open houses, have the kids do tours. Hey, come through my schedule for the day. Don't just have people here for board meetings in the theater and the library, where those are the newer parts of the school. Walk the rest of it and experience what it is to be in this building all day long as a kid and not fit through the hallways and go outside in the snow and whatnot. So there's my referendum thing. The other piece with restructuring I'm going to speak to, that Ms. Lake spoke to, I've spoken with Dr. Collins about, is the curriculum piece. So they've already kind of heard my concerns, and I wanted to address it with the board. 3 years ago we had a strategic plan. I was a part of that committee. I was a part of writing that proposal, that plan. And so far that has not been implemented, and that was 3 years ago. Now there are pieces, and Ms. Lake came in halfway through, so it's just a matter of, as a teacher I've been here 10 years, and there's turnover of administrator. And how can we as teachers have confidence that these things are going to happen? And I know that parents here are saying, let the state do our jobs. But I can tell you right now, when the state comes in, we have no say. Parents have no say, teachers have no say, administrators have no say, and that won't work. The state will not be able to answer our problems. We know our kids. Your teachers know your kids, and you know your kids even more. And we need to make these decisions and make these changes. And as far as curriculum goes, your teachers are the number one. I'm currently in a doctorate program for ed leadership. The teachers are the ones that need to drive the curriculum change with the support of administration and state standards. And it's got to be. All right, thank you for your time. You're sticking to your 3 minutes. John, it looks like Schaefer. Is that correct?
I just would like to start off and thank you guys. You guys don't get paid, and not a lot of people understand that your free time caring enough about the school district and, trying to do your best to get it used by us. But Connie, we pay you. We pay your salary. So you really work for us. Hearing, meetings that are going to be 2 weeks from now to try and come up with 10 years worth of problems is completely unacceptable. And I blame you for that. The board basically has hired you to figure this out for them. It's not their job. They're basically here to vote on it and try and run the school district. I don't know, if there were shenanigans or if there's a reason why the public wasn't made aware of, these issues and the meetings. And, Saturday was the first time that, most of the people we talked to were even aware of this. 2 days before the meeting. We were told you were going to vote on it. You had it on your agenda to vote on it. So obviously, something to judge, and you guys caught wind that everybody, found out about it. That's how we feel, okay? That's how we perceive it as a public. You probably didn't intend on that, but that's how we see it. There's some drastic problems here. That's what we have you guys here is, we pay our taxes to have you guys figure that out for us. And I hope that, we can trust that you guys do that. But I can say that people don't trust you, and you're going to have to earn that back because, meetings, just all of a sudden appearing or, substantial decisions that are going to be made about our child's future, we have 2 weeks to do that? Really? I mean, you've had years, and you knew about this for at least a year. You've got the data, and you showed everybody the data about it. What have you been doing? I know you've been trying to run the school district, and you're doing a good job for the most part. We've seen progress. Obviously, the district was in the dumps for the state, and they had to come take it over. But, if you knew about this for a year, plans should have been made, and the public should have been, told about it. So we can all try and work together, and solve this. We don't expect you to figure it out yourself, or the board to figure it out.
3 minutes, please.
But, involve us, please.
Thank you. Can't read this one. Is it Jeannie? Starts with a D. Deb. School court.
Some people left.
What is the last name?
Ryan.
Hi, I've been in the school district for 18 years. It started out as bad, it got worse, we got taken over by the state. We passed referendums to get McGee built. How many years did that take? My kids never got to use it. And now you want to do charter these kids. When you knew, everybody else knows, you got a grant for $550,000 for that health care. What's with that? Why couldn't you bought books with that? Our computers. I mean, we don't need a health clinic in our schools. Parents should step up and take responsibility for their kids. Not look around. You've seen what this community is becoming. And it's people that don't stop. You can drive around this village and see buses idle all day. That's money out of our pocket. I pay $7,200 a year in taxes. And I'm sure there's a lot more that pay more than I do. That's a lot of money coming into the school district. And we have to accept this. That's wrong.
I do want to clear up a misconception about the money for the health center. That is not the school.
A grant. It could have been used.
It's not the school district's money.
But who won the grant? Who implemented it?
An outside coalition. It belongs to them. They're,
We have another agency, but a few people putting it over to it. All right, you're given this okay. You're given them the okay. It's not right. To speak to the parents. And if the parents can't handle their kids, then they should be responsible for those kids that are born out of wedlock.
next, Patricia Hare. Patricia Hare.
Hi, my name is Patricia Hare. I live at 563 North Red Deer Road, Round Lake. I have 2 children in the Round Lake Area School District, the attend Village School. They are products of the Round Lake Area School District. I have to say I am a teacher. I am a proud teacher of this district. I come as a parent, and I'm very, very concerned parent. I'm not talking as a teacher. I want to know how these massive changes, these bold, innovative changes that you have asked us to do and take on as parents for our children are going to improve the test scores. How is moving my child to another part of the district, to another building, going to raise my child's test score? What training have you given our teachers right now to improve the data? What curriculum changes have you stuck with more than 1 year that allow teachers to retain and get the proper training that they need so the test scores do go up? I want to know who's paying for this. I already pay a lot of money in taxes. I can't move because of all the issues that are happening right now in the school district, and the amount of taxes that I pay has nothing to do with the housing market. I want to know what's going to happen to my student, to my child, when they get placed on a low average score. What intervention tools are you going to give them? They are not on the free and reduced lunch list. They do not receive extra interventions. They are not privileged to those types of extra assistance. I come to you as a parent, a concerned parent, and I demand answers. I am no longer a teacher at this moment. I am a parent. My children are very involved in their school, and I am very involved with their teachers. But I feel helpless as a parent, and I feel bad for my teachers, my children's teachers, because they are trying. But when they do not receive the correct training and being thrown, you need to give the district data. Well, we give data. But what's the upper administration? What are you guys doing with the data? I want to know that. I want my children to be successful. Thank you.
Next, Joseph Ward.
And try to keep my composure here as I've gotten quite aggravated since this meeting has started. I want to take a look around at the people in this room, see who has shown up, the parents that we have here. I've had a short time to prepare for this. I found out about this restructuring plan, at least the word, the possibility that it happened last Tuesday when my 7-year-old was returned to school after Christmas vacation. So just so I don't pass it up too much, I live in Round Lake. My youngest child goes to Village. She is the 4th one of my children to go through the system. I have 3 more that have all graduated, ages 21, 24, and 28 years old. They are all doing very well. To hear of this on Tuesday, in my opinion, is appalling. This I pulled off of the Village's website today. 25 pages. This is not something that is put together in a matter of minutes and posted on the website. This is something that has been available to the public but was not given to the public. I, again, find that appalling. So I do congratulate you on the guts to put it up there and to change the discussion that you have, because you knew by putting the restructuring first that you were going to end up with this. I applaud that. That was why we're all here. But I wonder sincerely why it's been kept from us for so long. You sat there and gave us the data that you've had 4 years, and now, as I yelled during the comments, we have 2 weeks to decide. This reeks of what's going on at the national level. We have a problem. We must do it quick, pass it, put it through. Here it is, 25 pages. You don't have to read it. Have you all read it? Have you all read it? No. Let's pass it, let's put it through, let's move on. I've heard 5 options. I had 4 that were clear statements. 1-sentence statements. I get a 5-minute dissertation on the 5th one. I'm not so sure I like that one. It was not clear. You didn't give me any idea of what was actually going to happen. I feel one of the biggest problems in our nation today is loss of family and neighborhood. My kids have gone to the same school. They can walk to that school. They can bus over to McGee. They can go to the local high school. You were talking about breaking up the neighborhood. You want parent involvement? There are a lot of Hispanic parents out there that would like to read this. Where is that version? Again, I haven't had much time to prepare, but I found a quick article to where Ms. Collins says we need to start replacing teachers, and we need to take those teachers and align them more with the demographics of the children in school. I found another article saying this has been tried in Oak Park, District 97. In my opinion, it did not work there. From the information I have found, many costly referendums were passed in Oak Park. Oak Park has good school grades, but none of them improved. When these referendums were pushed through, when the demographics were changed, so we're going to go from hiring teachers based upon the resume to hiring teachers based upon race, creed, or color. That's wrong.
Lorraine Ward is next.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Ward. I have my 2nd-year-old in village school, and basically my biggest concern is breaking up the neighborhood schools. My daughter has a sense of security and community within those schools and those teachers. I don't agree with having them busted up from to go to Ellis, to go to Park, to go to Heights. There's no reason to do that. If you have failing teachers within those schools that cannot improve their grades, then you need to remove the teachers. Now, we've been in this district, like my husband said, 28 years. We lived through the strike of the 90s and the state tax authority. You cannot bust up our neighborhood schools. I contacted Mayor Dietz, and I explained everything, and I gave him all my information on Friday. He is the one that initiated the robocall to the village of Round Lake so these residents would know. I didn't into that. I didn't get any response from the beach, the Heights, the Park. No one else responded to me. Please do not break up our neighborhood schools. Our children have friendships, they have relationships there, and you have to start thinking of the psychological effect on our children. Don't take that away. She's very happy and content in her school. I'd like to keep it that way. And the cost of moving her to a private education is to put her through in 2nd grade all the way to get her through to high school, because we are not performing as more than a 4-year college education. I have priced it up. I have been through board member after board, not you guys, old bad board members, past board members. We used to be good. The school has gone down, and no one has implemented any great changes to change it. Something's got to be done. But to have this announced in a 2-week period, you're not going to have the changes that you want out of the district. Please do not break up our neighborhood schools.
Heather.
week. I probably don't even need this. I have a 5-year-old in the EEC, and I am very, very pleased with the EEC. I love them. I think they're fantastic. So, yay! Came from corporate America, so I had the pleasure of actually becoming a stay-at-home mom, and therefore allowing me the opportunity to get involved with my son's school, which has been fantastic. So I'm going to ask right now, and you guys forgive me, I'm going to be scattered. This is what my notes look like. They're crazy. But first of all, I have a hard time believing that a group of people have my child's best interest in mind when you guys have clearly shown that you don't have respect for me or this group of people enough to let us know what's going on prior to 2 weeks meetings to make a decision. That scares me a lot. So on that note, I do want to say that I come from corporate America. I saw your day of plenty. And I know that from corporate America, I learned, through my time in management there, that when you start to see downward trend, you start to take a course of action. You do many different continuous improvement options to actually look at what's going on. As I'm looking at the data that's up there, I see 3 issues. I see, and please nobody take any offense to anything that I might say, but I do see it's an issue that we have our special education and our Spanish-speaking population being tested at the same levels as our, let's just say, our broader population of students. I don't know that that's within anybody's control with the state of Illinois. However, I do think that that is part of what's bringing down our scores. I see, if you can show me a past and a current and a future state, then you had 4 years to prep us that this was coming. As soon as one school started to fail, action should have been taken, community should have been involved. On the note of community, if you look around and you look in this room and you see how many faces are here and how many kids there are, think of how many parents there are. And either A, they didn't know and they're not here, or B, they don't know and they don't care. Because we don't have a very good sense of community here in Round Lake, and I'm sure in many other places as well. But if we want to continue to have a community and build parent-teacher partnerships, then parents also need to be informed. I think that I find it contradictory that we're talking about realigning a school district and putting, just move, okay, so we're just going to move the students around. That's fine. But I just find it contradictory to tell me that we're going to have teachers that are more concentrated on curriculum, but you told me it's too much to ask to institute core curriculum by the fall of this year. It doesn't make any sense. Our number one priority is core curriculum, and that should be our number one plan to move forward. And then, secondly, we have to come up with a plan to get those parents who just don't know and just don't care involved. Because my son comes home from kindergarten, and I still spend an hour. I spend an hour with him a day so that he passes these tests above average. He has an excellent teacher with a 30-plus kid class that changes almost every 2 weeks, with at least 2 kids that probably could be moved out because they have some special developmental needs, and 2 kids that could probably go to a Spanish-speaking class. But his teacher still does the very best she can with what she has. Yes. I love the idea of being innovative, and I would love to make a name for Round Lake School District saying, yay, we did this, we did it on our own, and we brought it without the state. The failure is not an option, and we need to be clear about that. So I don't care about making a name for Round Lake District 116 at this point. I care about my kid if we need the state, and that's what we need. But I do also love the idea of community and staff and everybody coming together to make an excellent plan to change this district around. Thanks for the time.
Next is Shirley Dish. She just left. Christy Jury. Sure.
I'll be pretty quick. My name's Christy Jury, and I have a 4th grader and a kindergartner who is the luckiest kindergartner because he gets to have Mrs. Harris as teacher. I live on East End in Round Lake. I grew up in Round Lake, thankfully got to go to Grays Lake schools. It wasn't until later on that my children, they changed everything, and now my children are going to Round Lake schools. The two things that I have to say is that we can tell from all of the things you had up here that this has been going on for quite some time, and it's just now coming up. Like you said, in corporate America, that would have never happened. And the last thing that I want to say is I really, really feel bad for the teachers in this district because you guys make them look like they are terrible. And we have awesome teachers. And the board, the district is the group of people that make our teachers look bad when our teachers are busting their butts every day to make sure my kindergartner came home today and read 2 sentences out of his book. Because he has that teacher. You guys made them look bad.
Next is Elise Ward.
Hi, my name is Sue Hollingsworth. I live at 266 Primrose Lane. I have 3 children in the district, one at the high school, one and one in Village. I have a few comments. One of our many responsibilities as parents is to be our children's advocates. I've always felt that as a school board, you are our advocate and are here to represent not only us as parents, but ultimately our children. With that being said, I feel that this whole thing has been extremely deceiving, just hearing about it. Any future changes, major restructuring, and something as important as our children's education should be well thought out, planned, and incorporate all parties involved, including parents and teachers. We owe that to our kids. I don't have the solution tonight, but I think that we need to take the time that we do have to present every option and weigh all of their consequences. Parent involvement is a crucial part of this. We should all be working together to ensure a plan is the best possible solution for our children. Parents, teachers, administration, and the school board should be working as a team because ultimately we're all of our children's advocates. Thank you.
Elise Ward, and then Erica Mars.
Hello, I hope everyone's still doing well. I am a product of Round Lake schools, at least up until high school. My parents took me out and put me in Carmel. I think I'm doing pretty well for myself, so I'd like to thank all my grade school teachers. I know Mrs. Leafland, I believe, is still out there teaching. She was great. Just a couple of things I want to kind of address. I don't think any of it will be new. I think it will just simply be echoing what a lot of the other parents and concerned community members have already stated to you guys today. I think the basic issue that we're running into is transparency. Again, I'm not sure whether you guys have even made a decision on the restructuring plan. It's still not clear what direction we're going to go on that. That's still not been made accurate or clear to the community. But I do think you have to understand that. And where I live. My little sister goes to Village. But if you're going to plan some sort of bold and innovative restructure, I think there's some basic principles that you have to follow. Again, corporate America will go through this as well. You need to make sure that the stakeholders' expectations are managed. And I believe that not informing the parents and the community about this is definitely the opposite of that. If you plan to build a community and raise a child, because it does take a village, you need to be informing these parents, and I don't think that that's happened. Again, whether that's due to deceit, and today kind of have this kind of a CYA moment, that's beside the point. Whether it's deceit or incompetence, it's wrong. You guys should really know better, and I would expect that moving forward, whatever plans that you do want to put in place are quickly, clearly communicated to this group of people, because you can tell that they do care. Thanks.
Zicki.
Hello, my name is Erica, and I have 4 kids in the district. I have 2 in Village, 1 in Mercy, and 1 at Brockton. I'm new to the district, and to be honest, this is one that I have ever been to because of my support. I love my teachers. My teachers are the best at Village School Special. They have made my kids feel very comfortable, and I love the way they teach. I just don't agree on the way that you're doing your job. The way you communicate with parents and the teachers. And I know a lot of people, they don't want the state coming in, and me as a parent, I don't want the state coming in, not because of the board, but because of my teachers. And that's all I have to say.
We have Ziggy and then David Study.
Thank you, and thank you, school board, for all the efforts you put in, a lot of hours in. I've been to your board meetings when there's only 2, 3 parents show up on an evening, other than when there's a special presentation. Dr. Collins, I've made amends with you in the past, and thank you for your gracious of accepting my forgiveness. At the Thanksgiving time, I get a voicemail on my mail, and it says, please make sure your students are in school. And it just irks me that I get this message. And I think to myself, out of rebellion, to hold my kid back that extra day, just because I got the voicemail. My daughter comes home from school, and in the beginning of the year, I could guess about 80% of the time whether her teacher was out of class. And it started out by, I'd say, did you get to pull your card today? And she said, no, Dad, my teacher wasn't there today. And this happened a couple times, and I'm like, wow, attendance on my child, but yet my daughter's teacher can miss, I don't know, she had to miss at least 10% of her days in the first few weeks of school. I haven't checked on her lately, I don't know. I did raise it to the principal. Grades, I noticed a lot of honor students. You go to the junior high, everybody's got on the honor roll. But then when you look at the test scores, they're below average of the state. So I kind of wonder how that measures out. Are we grading them light in the class to give them honor roll to make them feel good, so that then we find out what happens in the real test? Maybe there's going to be some looking at that. And special teaching benefits, my daughter's not privy to that. She pays full price for lunch, and they will not give her any kind of extra teaching because Huntington came in. They said, no, it's only for free lunch program or reduced cost, and what a shame. Checking for outside schools, we're overpopulated. I pay a lot in taxes. A good chunk of my money comes to taxes. Maybe somehow the school board talks about issuing a credit back to parents that really do want to leave the district. My kids, maybe I do homeschool them and they would have a credit toward that. Maybe they could look at a private school. Moving to new school. Oh, starting over. Starting over is kind of funny. I can see what happens. If you group kids by where they're at in grade levels, you get a fresh start. Yeah, you do get to see them rise together. And but they're with their own, if you will, maybe I don't know if they segregate them by levels, but it just seems, Lovie Smith is gone for a reason. He didn't perform. And on a sincere note, though, what would be wrong with putting the teacher's job up at state? And I'm not speaking against any one teacher. I love you all, but if you're a good teacher, you're definitely going to come back. You're going to come back if you're a good teacher. If a change is needed, it's an opportunity for change, and I see nothing wrong with that as a taxpayer. As far as state coming in, I'm not opposed to the state coming in or outside company, prefer not, but I'm okay with state coming in. We lose control of the school, yes we do. But I'll tell you something, right now, I don't have any control of what goes on in my school. I asked my kids to go to John T. McKee, and I was basically laughed at, escalated all the way to state, and they rubbed it in almost like a rub-in that you got to do what we say you have to do. And it was really a shame. The only thing I have, I'm going to wrap it up right now, the only vote I have now, and I threatened this the last time, and I may consider it this year, but there's a test coming on at the end of the year, and it's called ISAT. I can have my daughter circle A for every single answer, just in protest of how I'm made to feel as a parent in Round Lake School. And would I do that? I might consider it. I don't know. I doubt I would, but it does come to mind.
David Study is next, and then Colleen Mason.
Thank you, Ms. Stubbe. I've been in the school district for 35 years. I live over in Round Heights. My son went through the Round Lake schools, and I have no complaint. I have 4 grandchildren in the schools, and I feel like they're doing well. But to have a catastrophe this size shoved down my throat in 2 weeks is very disgusting. Thank you.
Okay, after Colleen Mason is Melissa Demnowski.
My name is Colleen Mason. I live at 308 Wagonwood. I have been a resident of Round Lake for 13 years. I have 2 children that attend village school, which I am very proud of. I am very disappointed right now in the board and in the superintendent. I attended your teaching and learning forum in October. This was not brought up. I am very disappointed that you have had to have known about this if you showed us most of the graphs that you showed us this evening at that forum. Which means I feel lied to and deceived that you guys didn't tell the parents about this, that we had to find out through rumors that this was going on. The presentation wasn't made available to anyone to view because I was on the website looking. I know that based on the website, 5 of you have children. At least that's what it says on the website. How would you feel as parents that you did not find out about anything and that things were being held against you guys? I'm very emotional right now. There are I am very concerned for this school district. If these things are going to continue and you're going to implement things and change and make new schools, is in my opinion, that's just a shuffle of the cards. And you're just deflecting it off of what the real problem is. We don't look at classroom size, we don't look at curriculum, we don't look at the tools that are given to our teachers. I volunteer at Village. I spend time at Village. I see what happens at Village. I see how the teachers interact with the students. It is unfair to just uproot everything because you think that is the best thing. Has anybody gone back to the state and said, Dr. Collins, if I resign, is that enough of a situation, enough of a change?
Dominowski is next, and then Mark Mason.
Hi, I'm Melissa Dominowski, I'm 318 Wagonwood Road. My son also goes to Village, he's in the 2nd grade, and he's been very happy in Village School. He has certainly grown a lot in that school. He has learned a ton through the teachers that he's been experienced with over the years. It's very disappointing because you guys trust parent involvement. Your mission statement states, in active citizenship in concert with every member of our community. As a parent, you guys have not exhibited any of that. We found out a week ago and have to try to figure out what is going to be the best for our children. And that's pretty much it. My only other thing is your scores. You guys sit here and talk about we're not improving, we're not improving, we're not improving. By making this restructure, how can you say that our children's scores are going to improve when they're still going to be combined with the same amount of children, the same type of children, plus they're going to still be following the teacher curriculum?
Mark Mason. Mark Mason, and then Wally Barbaki.
Hello, my name is Mark Mason. I'm 308 Wagonwood. My two kids who attend village school. Very happy with village school. And I grew up in Chicago, and we moved out here about 12 years ago. And we heard all the rumors about how the schools out here weren't very good, and why'd you pick Round Lake to live, and all that kind of stuff. And we like the people here, and visited the school, and we're pleasantly surprised. It feels like a neighborhood to me. The kids are within walking distance of our school. And this past week, we heard rumors that we were going to change basically our way of life, what we expected out of our neighborhood and our schools, and I guess a little disappointed and a little freaked out. I think that's why a lot of us are here. We're we're just trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, you've heard a lot of things that I could just sit here and echo about being disappointed in you and why, you told us at the 11th hour that at the 12th hour that everything's going to change and otherwise bad things are going to happen. And I guess that, I appreciate the fact that now, you're planning meetings to listen to this. And I don't know why it took all of us to kind of barge down in here and make you guys change your mind, but that's what happened. And we know that's what happened. And hopefully, from this point forward, we can start over. Maybe these meetings will not just be kind of a smoke screen of, well, we're doing something, but we're still going to do whatever you guys are going to do to begin with, because we're still not sure what that is. And I hope you kind of take this people here and myself into consideration that it's our lives and our children's lives and our teachers and that you're messing with, and we take that very important. We just want the best for our kids.
Wally Barbaki. Elaine Russ. And then Barry Gerby.
Hi, my name is Elaine Ross. I live at 7 North Cedar Lake Road. I have one child in village, and I have another one that will be entering kindergarten in the fall. I don't have too much different to say than what everyone else has said. Just strong concerns about making sure, maybe some mistakes have been made in the past. So let's learn from this. Let's move on. Let's make sure that we have teacher involvement from here on out. Let's make sure we have parent involvement from here on out. Communication is good. Just all these things to pull together, and one thing that popped in my head, and it sounds like it's not really an option, but maybe is there a way that we can ask the state, this is what our plan is, we want to implement it for 2014 because we want to make sure that all the communications going on, we're doing it right, we're doing the best we can for our children. So I'm throwing it out there, I don't know if it's an option, but just really want to make sure that everyone's involved. Thank you.
Barry Gerby is next, and then Katie Jaskowski.
Good evening. My name is Barry Gerby, P.O. Box 151, Round Lake. And really, I want to address the community more than really the board, but I'm glad that President Radford said that she's going to, or the board is going to, or the district is going to answer these questions on the website. So I'm looking forward to some of these answers.
My first question is, what happened to the 5-year strategic plan? The Teaching and Learning Committee worked very hard to redesign and focus the curriculum both vertically and horizontally. Has the district been utilizing this work? If not, then why was so much energy spent on it? And also, will the district collaborate with the staff, educators who have been here and care about the kids on this upcoming project, or just force it upon them, force it upon the students and the community? My next question is, why is the board and administration only giving you, the community, 14 days to have input on this? My next question is, why is it taking so long for the district to come forward and ask the community to voice their opinion? And going back, I apologize I missed this, but if the administration refuses to articulate, how can you trust them to fix something in which they were a part of breaking? Why was the restructuring plan not on the website until after 10 o'clock today? That was the last time I checked, was 10 o'clock this morning. Did they not want you to have time to look over it and digest it? And again, I'm reiterating some of the points people made before me. Another question I have, kind of a rhetorical question, is, were you and the community better off when the state was in charge? Financially. We were on the financial watch list, and now things are much better financially. What has happened in a couple of years since the state has left? In my opinion, it's been turmoil. Here are some questions I really want answered. How many new administrators have been hired from outside the district? How many administrators have been here longer than 2 or 3 years? How many current administrators have actually taught in the district? How many administrators truly understand the culture of the district? As a fellow educator said earlier tonight, we know our kids, meaning the fellow teachers. To me, it seems like there's a lot of cronyism and patronage happening here. How much money is District 116 spending on administration? What are you getting for your money? Why are we hiring people from out of state? And what have they done for District 116? Are these people the best administrators? Will they be here 5 years from now? How many Hispanics have been hired to fill major leadership roles in the district? Also, what can you, the community, expect next year when contract negotiations begin? Remember, when the state was here, negotiations was a collaborative effort. And I have one last point I know I'm up. Previously, when a community member was critical of district actions, a member of the district staff filed a false police report to silence this critic. What retaliation might some of us encounter tonight by speaking out? Thank you.
Lady Chakowski and Julie Lee.
My name is Katie Jazowski. I live at 271 East Cabo, Roundwood Beach. My daughter, excuse me, is an Indian, as you could see. I understand that the board didn't have much notice of this, as well as most of us who found out in the last week about the plan. I want to know why, for 4 years, such as Indian Hill and the other 2 schools have had failing scores, that we haven't dealt with the curriculum issue, which has gotten us into this mess. There's been plans out there, you've approved plans 3 years ago that are still sitting on the table and nothing was done with them. Why haven't we done something previous to, okay, now we're in crisis? Let's scramble, let's throw something together and get it out there and get it through, when that's not going to solve the issue either. Again, we're hastily throwing something together without sitting down, thinking about it, and going through it. The proposal you've got now might be a good thing, it might not be. We don't know. We don't have enough information on it as parents and as teachers. Is anybody involved with it? And other than that, everyone else is the same. And so, thank you.
Julie Lee and then Jenny Schaefer.
My name is Julie Lee. I live at 173 West Lumsey Drive. I moved here from Chicago 12 years ago.
I made a promise to myself and my husband that I would be gone before our children entered the school system. It's a promise that I never forgive myself for breaking, and it is not because I don't have some of the best teachers around right now. I have a 5th grader at Indian Hill, a 4th grader at Indian Hill, and a 4-year-old who will be entering the EEC in the fall. I'm going to have to read this because I hate public speaking and I want more than anything to crawl under this podium. And I'm also very proud of my community right now for maybe the first time for being here tonight. I'm here to echo the voices of my fellow parents, community members, and educators in regards to the restructuring of our elementary school. I have serious reservations about a plan that has been thrown together with little or no input from the parental or teaching community, which it directly affects. This type of restructuring, where successful, has taken many months to years of planning, which included community task force and parent involvement. The lack of the aforementioned and rush to implement this by August 2013 has left many of us feeling as though we have been deliberately deceived by the district administrators. I would like you to consider the proposed effectiveness of this plan and how this disruption to not only the students but the staff will raise our test scores and improve learning. The district does not have a successful history in implementing changes in this hurried fashion. A solid reading curriculum for teaching staff to follow was approved. 3 years later, we're still waiting for it to be implemented. Perhaps implementation of a strong, well-articulated curriculum for teaching staff to follow would have been a crucial step to raising our scores and making AYP prior to the proposal of drastic changes. I have concerns that this district's must-do list has waited until years 4 and 5. Even the best of educators need a roadmap to guide them. In failing to implement a strong curriculum, district administrators have failed our teachers and failed our students. Why has this district waited until we have reached deadline status to implement changes to improve student achievement? I urge you to hear the voices of the community and vote no to this restructuring proposal, if only to provide more time for planning, community research, parent involvement, and adequate communication to all involved. Restructuring may restart our AYP clock, but it does not correct the fundamental problems of District 116. I can only hope that the attendance at tonight's meeting proves to you how important the topic of communication, or the district's lack thereof, is to all of us involved. I sincerely hope this leads to improved communication and education at a district-wide level. But I must remind you that the high attendance here this evening is not due to the urging of the district. It is rather due to the urging of dedicated parents. Thank you.
Jenny Schaefer, and then is it Eileen Rivera?
I live at 525 West Sweet Clover Road. I have 2 students at Village School. Proud to say that. We have an excellent school. We have an excellent staff who works collaboratively together very well. It's an excellent community within that school, and you can see it with the children and how they are thriving. I have a whole prepared thing that most of this has already been touched upon. Obviously, a key issue is that parents are extremely upset that this seems like it has been a deliberate attempt at trying to get your agenda passed easily and quickly without parent input, and then to ask us about it later when it's too late. That's wrong. It has affected our trust in you. The board, we don't know if you knew about this or not. Hopefully, you didn't. Administration, obviously you did know about this. You had a plan all set up, which has changed from what I understand from the original plan. You gave teachers, you just started talking to them a week ago in the schools to get their input. parents, you weren't going to ask us anything until after it was approved, so I can't see how that's working together with parents and teachers. As you, Dr. Collins, had addressed in your presentation, that was one of the goals. I think that was a goal that was created after parents became aware of the issue. I would like to address the fact that I think one thing that's been overlooked tonight, nobody has said they don't want this. Everyone's too angry about the issue having been just slid past us, that no one has expressed, we don't want this. We would like other alternatives. We have not been given any. You had said when you discussed the 5 options, you did not think that they were viable solutions. That's your opinion. You have a job to protect, which could very easily influence what your decisions are. You're not asking us what we want. I do not see how you possibly can implement this by August and make all of these sweeping changes and figure out what kids go into which schools, get these schools set up for these students while trying to develop a core curriculum for all of our teachers to learn, to train, to develop lesson plans, to communicate to students. I am also a sub within the district. I substitute teach. I substitute taught in a class, a 4th grade class in India.
Option, but we weren't even given any options. Okay? We're fighting with the government to control our bodies and be able to do and choose what we want to do. We can't even do that with the school district. How are we going to do that with our lives? So it's just amazing to me. I think my 3 minutes is up.
Adriana? Proceed. Call.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Culp. I'm the president of the Education Association of Round Lake. And I want to make something clear. We, the membership of EARL, doesn't disagree that we need change. However, the change needs to begin with focusing on what our teaching staff has been asking for since the creation of the strategic plan, an articulated curriculum. About 51% of the staff will be effective without an articulated curriculum. EARL is asking for the creation of this plan to be collaborative. And that doesn't mean the superintendent going to meetings of school buildings and hearing questions that she can't answer because the plan doesn't have enough meat on it. Bring representation from this community and from our teaching staff to meet together to create a plan that will increase student achievement in our district. The teaching staff is responsible for educating the children of this district. Does the board value us enough to hear what we need to make that happen?
Kirby, and then Lenny Jarrett.
Thank you. I'm Tim Kirby, 1048 Nippersick. I have a clarification. No Child Left Behind has been in existence for 8 years, 9 years. And the way I understand No Child Left Behind, there are to be staff members, educators, board members, community members, parents, and experts at the same table to understand restructuring. Now, show of hands, how many community members have been at the table with the board members and administration and staff? How many board members? This is nuts. This is nuts, you doing this. And you had 8 years of No Child Left Behind? Now, the second question I have is, how many school districts in the state of Illinois have done such a drastic change in their programs? Thank you. None is right.
Lenny Jarrett, and then Maria Ortega.
Lenny Jarrett, 2306 North Teddy Lane, Round Lake Beach. I'm not actually a resident of District 116, but I know a lot of people that live over here. I'm in actually Grace Lake School District. I found out about the meeting this afternoon about 2 o'clock or so as well. My focus here is I'm the founder of For Our Children's Future. And our whole goal is to bring quality education for everybody, make sure everybody has quality education. I've been watching this board for several years now, and you really have a pattern of secrecy. First with the healthcare clinic, you didn't have the community involved for a long time, then you finally tell them about it when somebody finds out about it. Your district restructuring plan, you're doing the same thing again. Sounds like the referendum. I don't know if you've done this right. Did you include any of the community members in the talks about the referendum that you want to pass and put on the ballot?
Nope.
So,
You answer all the questions.
you talked tonight, Dr. Collins, about the different options. You want parental involvement, yet you excluded 4 of the options without ever talking to any of the parents and the community members. How are you going to get parental involvement if you don't actually involve them and ask them? It's kind of hard to do. One other question I have is along with these options. Are you considering merit pay? I'm sure you have some really excellent teachers. I'm sure you've got some teachers that aren't as good, or the results wouldn't be what they are. You sit here and everybody talks about what you're doing, how well you're doing things, you're improving. Well, we had a teenager sit up here tonight, you can't even run your lunchroom. How do they expect you to change your schools and run your schools effectively if you're not changing anything except keeping the exact same people in place, doing the exact same things over again? You know, Mr. Kirby's mentioned earlier that there's been problems with retribution in the past for people speaking up and being critics. I'll let you know now, if anybody gets any retribution, contact me at info@ForOurChildren'sFuture, and I will make sure that goes completely public so everybody knows about it. And Tim Kirby actually knows how to get in touch with me too, so he can, if you forget that email address, I know he can get in touch with me. Last thing I'd just like to say, it appears that you just want the parents' money, not their actual input.
Hi, my name's Maria Ortega. I live at 312 North Burmese Park in Round Lake. I have 3 children, 2 attend Village, and my oldest does not attend the high school here. The reason he does not attend the high school here is because the staff there really did not care about the children. Where my son was out of school last year for a whole week before I got a phone call to tell me that he hasn't been in school. As far as Village, not to talk bad about the teachers or not, but I've seen it on both sides. My kids went to fellows last year. My son was failing when she is in 2nd grade now. My daughter was at Honor. We're at Village now. My son is actually doing good, and my daughter is failing. So it's pretty much the teachers. There's teachers that care, and there's teachers that don't care. And I don't mind the change because I want my kids to succeed. And right now it's either one is failing or one is succeeding, which is very unacceptable. And we need to get either the teachers more training or something, and that needs to change because doing another plan to try and change it within the district to keep the same teachers, it's not going to work because it hasn't worked for the longest time. And as I am part of the PAC meeting, part of the PAC committee. We are parents that are trying to make changes within the schools, and it's a whole bunch of schools that are getting together, and we don't have that many parent involvement. So a lot of people talk about parent involvement, and there's not that many parents that are involved with us.